Hi there, it's Pat McCamley from Desio Dental Marketing. There seems to be some confusion around at the moment as to the question of whether or not you should employ an associate within your practice or within your business. Um, the, there's various methods of calculating this, but I thought I'd give you my take on it. So I've set up a fictitious dental practice. Here we are. It's got one associate and the practice has got fixed costs of £100,000 per annum. So we're looking at the associate's income over here. He's managed to generate £150,000 of sales for you. He's got 82,500 of salary costs, variable costs of 37,500, giving you 120. He's got a contribution of 30,000. And then when you allocate half of the fixed cost of £100,000 to him, it's ended up costing you £20,000. So on the face of it, you just wouldn't have this guy. Is that correct? Well, the simple answer to that is no, that's absolutely not correct. And I'll show you why. Over we go to yourself, the principal. You're doing very well. You're generating £250,000 of income. You're drawing a salary of £100,000 a year. Hopefully you'll have a nice profit at the end of it to add in as well. You've got your variable costs, giving you a total cost. You're making a contribution of 250,000, take away 162, leaves you with 87. You allocate in your fixed costs, half of the £100,000, and you're making a nice healthy £37,500, so you don't have to sack yourself. Good news all round. And over here we have the totals. So ultimately you've got yourself a profit, 17,500, happy days, okay. Now, in this instance here, we've looked at this guy, he's costing you £20,000, so you're going to get rid of him, or her. Watch what happens when I take this away. Okay. I can't allocate £50,000 against somebody who's not there. Okay, so he's not costing you anything anymore. Okay, nothing's changed over here, except you're the only guy in the practice now, so I need to change that, because all the fixed costs are against you now. Okay, and you're saying to yourself, well, what happened there? And the question is, nothing happened. Over here, what you need to understand is £100,000 of fixed costs is exactly that. It's £100,000 that you are paying one way or the other, regardless if you're just yourself in the practice, one associate or 5 associates. You are paying £100,000 in the short to medium term. It's fixed, it's a sunk cost, and it has really nothing to do with whether or not you employ this guy. What you need to understand here is, if you can get an accurate figure here, okay, and here, as long as this figure here is a positive figure, he is making £30,000 of a contribution to your fixed costs of 100,000. So you have got to employ this guy. Simple as that. In theory, if that figure is £1, that's better than not employing him. So you need to understand the concept of contribution. Fixed costs they're there. If you've got a lease for 5 years or 10 years, you're paying that lease. Doesn't matter how many people are working in your practice. You don't pay your lease, you don't have a business. So there are people out there who are calculating these things, including the allocation of fixed costs. You do need to recover your fixed costs, no question about that, but it is not a variable or a factor that should be used in your decision whether or not to appoint an associate. This is absolutely crucial, as is this. If you can work out that this guy is going to bring in this, he's going to cost this, and he's going to produce a contribution, then you should employ him. Thanks for listening.